Snow Angels by Harriet Loveday. Christmas television. Ricky stomped in through the door of their flat and shivered with the cold. From the living room, Emma called, "Did you manage to top up the electric?" "Yes," Ricky called back triumphantly. It was Christmas Eve and bitterly cold outside in the city of Dundee, where temperatures had already dropped below freezing. Ricky kicked off his boots and hung up his jacket, damp from the snow, on the coat hook. He also took off his damp hat and scarf, then put on a dry woolly hat and a big all-in-one fleece which engulfed his skinny body. Coming through to the living room, he joined Emma on the sofa under the duvet, which was wrapped around her as she sat watching the TV. "Oh, you're cold," she said. "Can I still have a kiss for topping up the electric?" Ricky replied. Emma reached up her lips to his and said, "Always. You can have all my kisses." Their eyes rested on each other. No matter how tough times got, they always had each other, and they always would. "Thank you, my hero," Emma said with love in her eyes. Ricky reached his thin arm around her and pulled her close. He loved the scent of her natural scent, not perfumes or deodorant. It worried him that they were both getting skinny, but he tried not to show it. They just had to get through this winter. He'd get a better job and everything would be all right. Ricky looked at Emma's sleek, straight hair. The blonde tide line was now at her ears, with a wave of dark brunette following it. He didn't care. It looked kind of cool, actually. Besides, she'd always be beautiful to him. Her pale skin, sharp nose, big lobed ears, and pale blue eyes. He loved every quirk about her, and she loved him, despite his hawkish nose and thin, black, greasy hair, despite his nondescript dark brown eyes. She always looked at him like he was a hero, and for that he'd do anything to keep her happy. Times were tough, though. Ricky pushed back the feeling of panic and sick rising from his stomach and clutched her a little tighter. One day they'd look back on these difficult times and laugh. Emma reached over to the side of the sofa and passed Ricky a tea she'd made for him just before he came in. Gratefully he received it and hugged the warmth of the mug to him. "I've not put in milk," Emma said. "I thought I'd save it for tomorrow, for Christmas Day, if that's okay." "Yep, absolutely." Proudly he added, "I put £15 on the electric. It should see us through today, tomorrow and on into Boxing Day. I think my mum is going to drop off some money tomorrow in my card for Christmas, so we can use it to top up the electric after that." Emma snuggled in a little closer to Ricky under the duvet on the sofa, and lifting the TV controls out from underneath her, she said, "Anything you fancy watching?" "Homes for auction? Treasure in the attic?" he suggested. Ricky watched as Emma pointed the controller at the TV and found something suitable. Out of the corner of his eye, he could see the electric heater sitting cold and idle, but he just tried to ignore it, just as he tried to ignore the damp, peeling lining paper and the bare floorboards. He knew he could do these jobs. He was perfectly able to repaint or lay some carpet. They just had to be able to buy the paint or the carpet first. Not this winter, maybe next year. Cuddled up under the duvet, Ricky and Emma quietly watched TV as the hours towards Christmas slipped by. Christmas morning was full of surprises. Emma had bought some slippers for Ricky and, with much hilarity and laughing, Ricky presented Emma with a pair too. Ricky laughed as Emma hit him with a pink fluffy slipper boot. He said, "How was I to know you'd bought the same? We think two alike. At least we'll have warm feet." Emma poked her tongue out. She was actually rather pleased with her slippers, and it was quite funny, one for the memory box. Emma got up to make some buttered toast for them for breakfast. Ricky watched her padded, fleece-covered shape leave the bedroom with a little tear in his eye. Then, jumping up, he reached under the bed mattress. The bed was the only item of furniture in the room, so the only good hiding place, and pulled out a little leather box. Carefully opening it, he checked the contents were still safely inside. From inside the box twinkled a tiny blue sapphire stone on a skinny gold ring band. Ricky's mum had said that she was okay to give her engagement ring to Ricky, as she could see how in love he and Emma were, and she wanted Ricky to do the right thing by Emma. Ricky had passed his mum £50 for it, all his savings, but it would be worth it. He was as excited as a kid on Christmas Eve waiting for Santa. He knew Emma would love it. Quickly hiding the box back under the mattress, he decided that he'd pop the question after lunch. Lunch was a simple affair. It was toast again, with baked beans and a tin stewing steak that Emma had been saving back. They'd also been given a box of mince pies from the food bank, so they finished with a mince pie each and decided to save 2 more for that night and have the last 2 tomorrow. Feeling happy and content, with cosy feet and hearts full of love, they wandered back through to the living room to cuddle up together on the sofa and watch an afternoon of Christmas TV under the duvet. Ricky decided to put the electric heater on for half an hour, while Emma searched the TV guide for something she wanted to watch. Feeling that this was the right moment, as they were full of food and love and warm air was filling the damp, cold room, Ricky nipped through to the bedroom. Coming back, he slipped under the duvet with Emma. Gently, he took the TV controls from her, pressed mute, and said, "Emma?" Emma turned to look at him strangely. She'd just about decided what she wanted to watch. She wanted the TV controls back. "Yes," she said, looking at him with puzzled eyes. Ricky leant forward and kissed her nose. He had tears in his eyes when he said, "From the moment I met you at school, I knew you were the one. I knew we would always be together. There is no other woman for me. You are perfect." Emma looked teary, and wrapping her arms around him, she said, "You big softy, you know I love you." Ricky replied, "I know you do, which is why I wanted to ask you, will you be my wife?" Out from his cargo trouser pocket and up under the duvet, Ricky produced a little battered leather ring box. Emma clamped her hand over her mouth in shock. Ricky continued, "Emma, will you marry me?" He carefully opened the box so that the ring wouldn't fall out. The slightly worn, skinny ring glittered at Emma from inside the box. Carefully he took the ring out. Then, reaching for Emma's left hand, he placed the ring on her finger. Amazingly, it wasn't a bad fit for size, a little loose, but nothing that couldn't be fixed when they had the money. Tears were streaming down Emma's face as she said, "Yes." Then, clasping her arms around Ricky's neck, she squeezed him tight and said, "I love you so much." "I love you too," said Ricky, then added, "I'm sorry it's not a new ring. It was Mum's engagement ring, and now that Dad's been dead 10 years, she said she'd rather you had it. I hope that's okay." Emma looked proudly down at the ring on her hand and said, "Ricky, it's the most beautiful ring I've ever seen." Again, wrapping her arms around him and covering him with kisses, she said, "I love you so much." Ricky had never felt so happy. They rang Emma's dad, then her mum and stepdad with the good news. After that, they rang Ricky's mum, who congratulated them. It seemed that unfortunately one of Ricky's mum's neighbours had had a break-in the night before, and she was helping them sort the damage and try to get the police out. She apologised that she wouldn't be over today, but promised to see them tomorrow. With all the phone calls and good wishes out of the way, Emma left for the kitchen to wind a bit of cotton thread around the engagement ring band to stop it slipping off. Ricky was left with the TV controls to find something for them to watch. Clicking off the electric heater, Ricky jumped back under the duvet and pointed the controls at the TV. Emma quite liked reality TV programmes, so he flicked to Celebrity Reality 24 to see what was on offer. 3 p.m, Ricky and Emma's wedding. Ricky did a double take. No way. There was a celebrity couple with exactly the same names as them. Okay, Richard and Emma weren't that uncommon as Christian names, but still. Ricky read the programme information. Follow Ricky and Emma, a celebrity couple who met on the set of Jungle Adventure. Watch Ricky propose to Emma and see them plan their extravagant Christmas-themed wedding. What were the chances that this celebrity couple had the same name and that the programme was about getting engaged? Ricky clicked it on, knowing that Emma would really love this. Emma came back into the living room and shut the door to try to keep in the last of the heat. "What's this?" she asked, pointing at the TV and snuggling up with Ricky under the duvet. Happily, she took out her hand with the engagement ring, flashed it at him, gave him a kiss, and turned her attention back to the TV. "You'll never believe it, but it's about a celebrity couple with the same names as us that have just got engaged," Ricky said. "Huh, what are the chances?" said Emma. "Can I just say, we were there first," and proudly took another look at her ring before slipping back under the duvet. Outside the flat window, the lights started to drop. Inside the flat, the temperature started to drop too, now that the electric fire was off. It was forecast to be cold tonight, possibly down to -10. but Emma and Ricky were quite cosy under their duvet and their hearts were warm with love. In front of them, a riot of glorious colour entertained them as they sat to watch a couple just like them. The programme started with an opening scene of a large white Surrey farmhouse, surrounded with paddocks and 2 horses grazing on hay at the edge of the field. Emma, the celebrity, was rubbing one of the horses' noses. The presenter asked her, "So, tell me about the moment you knew Ricky was the one." "Well," celebrity Emma replied, "I think it was when he was covered in spiders during one of the jungle trials. I just hate spiders." She shuddered. In the little flat in Dundee, Emma shuddered too and turned to Ricky saying, "Oh my goodness, I hate spiders too." Ricky smiled at her and pulled her closer to him as they turned their attention back to the TV. Celebrity Emma continued, "He just seemed so brave to me, a real hero. I think that's the moment I fell in love." The programme cut to celebrity Ricky in the farmhouse's large double garage, polishing one of his motorbikes. The presenter asked, "Ricky, how did you know Emma was the one?" Celebrity Ricky put down the rag and placed his hand on his motorbike to stand up. He gave the question his full attention. "It was her eyes. The first time I saw those baby blues, I just knew." Celebrity Ricky looked down at his feet and discreetly wiped a tear away from the side of his eye, trying to avoid the glare of the rolling camera. The presenter continued, "So, you want to make the engagement quite special?" "Yes, I do," he replied, "which is why I wanted to have this documentary. I want every moment of our journey to be remembered. We started on TV. I'm going to propose on TV." Laughing, he added, "We'll probably die on TV." The presenter asked, "Can you show us the ring?" "Yeah," celebrity Ricky replied, and from his cargo trouser pocket he pulled out a little blue leather box. Flicking it open and holding it for the cameraman to see, he said, "My mum had a sapphire engagement ring and she loved my dad a lot, so I wanted one just like it, only nice and big, because I love Emma a lot." Inside the little leather box nestled the most enormous sapphire gemstone flanked by 2 pear-shaped diamonds sparkling in the halogen lights of the double garage. The presenter said, "It's a beautiful ring. Are you nervous about proposing tomorrow? What if she says no?" Celebrity Ricky looked into the camera with all seriousness. "I know her better than I know myself. She won't say no, because we're soulmates, and we're destined to be together, if not in this life, then in the next." The presenter asked, "Do you believe in reincarnation, Ricky?" "Yeah," celebrity Ricky replied. "I've been on a Buddhist retreat. I've really tried to embrace destiny and fate. I really think there's something in it. Don't you?" From under the duvet on the sofa, Emma pulled out her ring again and said to Ricky, "Isn't that amazing? He got her a sapphire too." Emma didn't want to make Ricky embarrassed though, so she added, "But mine's a lot better because it's an antique and it has meaning." Ricky lovingly looked at Emma in the darkness, highlighted by the glow of the TV, and kissed her forehead as he said, "Whatever did I do to deserve you?" They snuggled together a little closer as the programme cut to a scene in celebrity Emma and Ricky's kitchen. It was an enormous farmhouse kitchen with creamy-coloured limestone flagstones, thick white shaker cabinets, sparkly stone worktops in white marble, a large double oven, and a huge central kitchen island. Celebrity Emma was sitting on a bar stool at the kitchen island as celebrity Ricky cooked dinner for them behind her. In their cold Dundee living room, Emma and Ricky could almost smell the eggs and bacon cooking. Around them in the flat, the last of the light and the heat escaped. Ricky and Emma were completely absorbed by the TV programme. They hardly noticed as they shivered together under the thin duvet. From behind the camera, the presenter asked celebrity Emma about their life together as boyfriend and girlfriend. "So, Emma, you've had some high-profile boyfriends and some painful breakups. How do you feel about moving in with Ricky so quickly?" Celebrity Emma gulped, took a quick sip of her white wine in a large, sleek glass and said, "This time it just feels different. I just know. Every part of me knows." And looking over to celebrity Ricky cooking behind her in the kitchen, she said, "Plus he can cook." From behind her, celebrity Ricky raised his arm and waved the spatula at the camera crew to prove the point. Then turning and flashing a smile at his girlfriend, he gave her a wink. Celebrity Emma smiled, flicked back her perfect blonde highlighted hair and continued, "It's like I've met him before somehow, honestly." Celebrity Emma looked directly at the camera and said, "I'd rather spend 100 lifetimes just with Ricky than one lifetime without him. The presenter asked her, "Do you think you'll get married and have kids?" "Absolutely," Celebrity Emma replied, "when he asks me." From behind Celebrity Emma, Celebrity Ricky turned around and gave a secret wink to the rolling camera. "Cut!" shouted the cameraman. "Great," the presenter replied, and addressing Ricky and Emma said, "I think we've got all we need for today. We'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. sharp, so make sure that the hair and makeup teams are finished by then." Emma drained the last of her wine as Ricky started to serve up dinner. "Anyone else for bacon, egg and chips?" Turning around to the cameraman, soundman and presenter, but everyone was a no. They were all eager to get back to their families for the night. Emma got up from the kitchen island and walked past the TV crew to get a wine refill from the fridge. "Ouch," she said, stopping suddenly at the end of the kitchen and rubbing her head. She looked up, puzzled. Ricky turned around from his cooking and looked over in concern at Emma. "You okay?" he asked. Emma placed her hand out in front of her, almost as if she was touching an invisible wall. "Ricky," she said, "there's something strange going on here. I can't get to the other end of the kitchen." Ricky came over, still holding the spatula. Inspecting her head, he then reached out his hands to the glass wall that seemed to be preventing them from reaching the other end of their kitchen. Behind them were the sounds of the TV crew packing up. "That's really odd," he said. Behind him, the cameraman said to the sound engineer, "Okay, just the camera spotlights to turn off." The kitchen was plunged into darkness. On a freezing Christmas night in the city of Dundee, the electricity meter in a small, damp flat clicked empty. In the living room, the TV switched off next to an unused electric fire. On the sofa, a young couple lay wrapped in each other's arms, huddling together for warmth. Their lips were blue with hypothermia, and their mouths exhaled their last breaths as their souls left their bodies to find each other in another lifetime.